Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up for your right.
What's up, people? This is Dr. Rich, and you are with me at the Power Lunch with Dr. Rich, Food for the Mind radio show. I want to welcome everyone today. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you had a great time with your family. I hope you spent some time with your family. I hope that you all have enjoyed your time off. Those of you who are going back to school today, going back to college today, great. Those of you who are going back to college from starting last week, great. But I want to first give a shout out to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, none of this would be possible. He wouldn't give me the wherewithal to do what I do. I want to send a shout out to all my buddies, Angela, Kenny, Greg, John, Ohaji, and Gerald. Today, we're going to actually get on into the show. We're going to get into some of the things that have happened this weekend, the things that have actually dominated the airwaves, and it's about Colin Kaepernick. We see that Colin Kaepernick took a stand at one of the games, the San Francisco 49ers game. He decided that he was no longer going to stand for the national anthem because of the fact that he thought and he feels as though the United States of America has been unfair to African Americans and other people of color. And this was his way to take a stand. And people, we're going to get into it today. We're going to get into, today we're going to talk about Colin Kaepernick because I have a couple of things that I'd like to talk about. I've got a couple of things that I want to enlighten you with. I want to actually have you guys join in. Today is Monday, the 29th of August. You can call in live at 504-65-ON-AIR. 504-65-ON-AIR. You can also catch me online at watchonairlive.com. And call in or chat. I don't know. I guess you come on to the live stream on watchonairlive.com and you click on the button, and here I am. Hi, everyone. Let's get right into it. Colin Kaepernick is a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know how much longer he'll be a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, but he is a famed quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and he is a black quarterback, and he feels as though he is going to use his platform as a quarterback, a millionaire quarterback, to discuss or to protest the treatment of African Americans and other people of color in the United States by taking a seat when they are playing when the stadium is playing the national anthem. Now, I am Dr. Rich. I am an educator. I am a scholar. I am a person who teaches in college. I'll be teaching today at one of the local colleges here. I am a doctor, a PhD in organization and management. I talk a lot about management and organization. I am a leadership coach. I am a military veteran. I am a Christian. I am a father. I served 2 tours in Desert Storm in the United States Air Force. I spent 10 years, 6 months, and 2 days in the Air Force. So I'm coming to you from a standpoint of a multidisciplinary or multidiscipline standpoint, to where I'm looking at it from a lot of different areas. Number one, as an African American. Number two, as an African American citizen in the United States. And number three, as an African American citizen in the United States who served in the United States military. My take on this: I disagree with Colin Kaepernick's channel. We all know in communication, you have the sender, the receiver, the message, the feedback, and we also have the channel by which you actually send the information. Much like if you were trying to break up with someone, you wouldn't text. Text would be the channel. That's an inappropriate channel to get your message across. If you were laying people off, you wouldn't send them an email to say, hey, we're laying you off. You would do this in person, because in person is the richest form. Face-to-face communication is the richest form of communication. The sender, obviously, Colin Kaepernick. The message, I don't agree with the United States. The receivers, the United States. And the feedback is what we're doing now. But the channel was his deal, or his sitting down during the national anthem, to say that he's not going to pay homage to a country that did this. Now, I think we need to actually first look at the fact that, yes, he can protest. Yep, he has the ability to protest. He is in the United States, and he has, well, wait a minute. So he has the ability to protest because he lives in the United States. He is a United States citizen, and because he is a United States citizen, he has the right to protest. How do you think you got that right? Well, because he was in the United States. So if he was not in the United States, he probably wouldn't have the rights that he has now. So the national anthem is pretty much a symbol of respect paid to the United States, the land of the free and home of the brave. Which is the particular point that he is stating, that, you know, this isn't the land of the free and home of the brave, because everyone's not free, especially people of color and especially blacks. Well, I have a problem with this, and the fact that, number one, Colin Kaepernick does not speak for me. I don't think he speaks for a lot of blacks. I don't really care about his background. His background, he was adopted. Everybody who doesn't know his background, yes, he was adopted by two white parents who raised him. His father abandoned him. His black father abandoned him. And he's felt some of the pains of, he is an African-American in the United States of America, and he's felt some of the pains that I think most all of us have felt from time to time in the United States. And he wanted to do something about it. I like the fact that he wanted to do something about it, but I do not like the fact of, number one, his vehicle, actually sitting down during the national anthem. That's very disrespectful to the country. I do not agree with that. And number two, his timing. No one can question his timing. You know, I mean, we can't question his motive. We really can't question anything. We can just react to it and give him some feedback. So if this ever gets to Colin Kaepernick, you know, I would like to tell him, Colin, I'd like to talk to you, buddy. I'd like to know what it is that you feel will come of this whole sitting down and vowing to not stand up or what did he say? He's not going to stand up. He's going to continue to sit down until some things are changed. This is where we have to start changing our thinking. Some things are changed. Well, we need to figure out what those things are, number one. And we need to figure out what it is he is expecting to get from this. We need to kind of define that. We don't have that opportunity right now, but we need to kind of sit up here and define what it is that he is looking to achieve. Now, the reason why I have a problem with it is because of the fact that this thing that he's done is the equivalent of slapping your mother because your sister is mean to you. It's just the same thing. You are denouncing the country because you feel as though the country is unfair to you, but you're utilizing the symbolism of the very freedom that was prescribed to give you the freedom to actually say that. That's problematic. You're using the national anthem, which talks about us being free, to talk about the fact that you're displeased with our treatment, I don't get that. I'm if somebody can call me and explain it to me, if someone can actually chime in as far as on the chat room, I'd appreciate it, the live chat room. If you actually come to www.watchonairlive.com, or you can call in live, call me, 504-65-ON-AIR. Again, the number is 504-65-ON-AIR. Let's go ahead and look at what he's talking about as far as taking this apart. And yes, he does have the right. Again, I'm not protesting. I'm not telling you that I disagree with the fact that he is upset. And the fact that he has the right. I get that part. I am upset with the fact that he utilized the national anthem for this kind of stunt. You're talking about your freedoms, and then, you're utilizing the freedom that you have by protesting the song that tells you have those freedoms. I don't get that. Happens to be a representative of the country that you, my friend, have taken so much advantage of. Let's not forget that, he is a millionaire and he does not like the treatment. He does not like the unfair treatment. And he stated that, I don't know if he stated it, but the news media is stating that he is doing this because he's not really doing it for himself, but he's speaking out for the other people in the United States who are oppressed and who have been done wrong by police officers, killed by police officers. He's actually doing this for them. So I just need to kind of probably put some logic here into this situation. Number one, back in the 40s, 50s, 30s, people paid money. They would not let white people would not let blacks go into the same doors, in the front doors. They would not let. We have a caller? Okay, we have a caller. Let's go.
Dr. Rich, how you doing, sir? This is Brian Garrett.
Hey, BG, how are you, man? Hey,
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Is this the BG from the Spot Radio Show, the Spot Show at 1 o'clock on Sundays?
Indeed it is, sir. Indeed it is.
All right. What's up, BG?
Right.
Thank you for calling. Speak what's on your mind.
No problem. The more I listen to the subject and the more I talk to people, it seems like they don't really, like you said, you don't really have an issue with what he did, is how he did it. Okay, so that means that you're upset about the fact that he sat down during the national anthem itself.
Correct.
All right. Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between what he did and before I get into it, I want to preface this. I'm not comparing the two individuals.
Okay.
Right? Muhammad Ali chose, when he was boxing, Muhammad Ali chose not to go into the armed forces.
Correct.
Now, as you know, during that time, an act like that was considered treasonous. It was considered probably one of the most disrespectful things that you can do to your country.
Correct.
Now, in no way am I comparing Colin Kaepernick and Muhammad Ali. Let's take the individuals out of it.
Okay.
What is the difference between what Colin Kaepernick did and what Muhammad Ali did? We champion what Muhammad Ali did, what we do now, okay? But we want to disagree with what Colin Kaepernick did. As far as the actions themselves, what is the difference in what they did?
Well, let's talk about the obvious difference, the fact that we're not in a war situation, and we know we have a draft going on. That's the first thing.
Okay.
We were at a situation at the time where we were at war, and we're not now. We were at a situation where he was doing this as a religious, I think he was doing this also as a religious deal because of the fact that he had converted to Islam. So he was a conscientious objector, I think, on the basis of the fact that he was a Muslim, which some people have done here too. I don't think that there's too much of a difference. One is pretty much the same thing. One has actually, I guess, one would be the fact of the fact of the matter that we're at war. We were at war at the time, so I don't really think. I think both of these individuals kind of, turned their back on the American program at the time. And I don't know, and I think maybe the only difference, you said take the individuals out, and it's kind of hard for me to do that because one was a boxing champion and another is a backup quarterback in the NFL, a black quarterback in the NFL.
Well, the reason why I asked that question is that if the actions in and of themselves, like I said, let's forget about the individual,
okay,
because the individuals really don't matter. We can't. I mean, because it's about what it is that they stand for.
Okay.
I guess in my mind.
Okay.
So if what they did, because people are questioning Colin Kaepernick's patriotism, they're saying it's against America, it's disrespectful to the country.
Uh-huh.
At the time, it's the same thing with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Refusing to go into the military because they won't stand up for you here in your country. They won't stand up for you as being a black man. They won't stand up for you as far as being a Muslim.
Uh-huh.
He didn't feel at the time that America was holding up to its creed,
uh-huh,
holding up to what it is that they say that they are,
uh-huh,
and because of that, this is what I'm going to do. To me, Colin Kaepernick is the exact same thing.
mm-hmm.
This is what I don't believe that my country is standing up for me, all right, and the
uh-huh,
people that I care about, and
uh-huh,
this is what I want to do. So what I want to know from people who disagree is that if we champion this individual for doing this, and here comes another individual who does pretty much the exact same thing in the exact same vein,
mm-hmm.
why is what Colin Kaepernick did so egregious? Why is it so egregious for him to do this, but Muhammad Ali stood up? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's in the same spirit.
Well, what year was that? Was it 1968 that he did that?
I'd have to look up
67, 68, somewhere around there when the Vietnam War was going on.
During the Vietnam War.
Okay, that's one thing. Number one, if you actually go back and look at some of the comments that they said and some of the things that I saw when Muhammad Ali died, there were still some Vietnam veterans who still, no matter how great he was, still said he wasn't great. He was a traitor. He was so I don't think there's really any difference. I think the backlash is going to be the same. But I think that with this guy, Colin Kaepernick, I think that he's in a different. I think he's just in a different sport in a different place. He's not. He doesn't have half of an eighth of the majesty that Muhammad Ali had. He did that on April 28th, 1967, actually. So he did this in 1967. So remember, the country was in a different place. Number one, we had just gotten civil rights in 1964, so the country was still kind of, coming out of that going, well, and I think that has something to do with it, the fact that the country was like, oh, man, come on, well, yeah, I can kind of gauge that. I think there's some parallels because these are both athletes, and people were just, people hold athletes to a different standard. But hey, BG, I don't think that, you bringing up this point. I don't really think there's too much difference unless it's the people. But the only difference is maybe the climate in the United States at the time was more outspread, I guess, more widespread violence and racism against blacks at the time, I think.
Right.
I think that would be the only thing.
You as a veteran, you spent 10 years in the Air Force.
Uh-huh.
Right? You served your country. How do you feel about what Muhammad Ali did?
Ooh.
You personally as a veteran.
As a veteran, I think that I don't agree with that. I don't agree with what he did, what Muhammad Ali did. But what I can say is that I do agree with the fact that he lived his right as far as what he thought was right. I applaud him for that, just like I applaud Kaepernick for that. But I just don't like the method that he did it. I don't like the method that Muhammad Ali did either. If you ever anybody know anything about me, I don't like the fact that Muhammad Ali had to go to that level to do that. I love him as a boxer. I don't like that I don't like that part about his history.
Okay.
But then again, hell, he did that before I was born, so. I think maybe because of the fact that he did certain things like that, it kind of made me, it didn't make me, but it made it easier for me to have a say-so out here to do that. So I think that his effects were great. I mean, he had the title, he lost it because he went to jail. He came out and he whooped tail until he got the title back again, and he's one of the greatest of all time, And he's done other things after that. So I think the story is still out. The story is still out on Colin Kaepernick. I don't think that that he. I do think if this is it, if you in 2 weeks don't hear anything about this, and he was done, I can truly say it was a stunt. But I'll
agree with you on that.
I do think, however, BG, the reason why it's such a problem now, it's because of the fact. I didn't want to get into this, but it's because of the fact that we have two people on polar opposite sides of the spectrum running for president, and it seems like we have zero direction, none, and it's disheartening to see that. So look at all the black people as a community, right? It seems that the thing that we asked for, which was equality, leadership. We want blacks in office. We got that with the black president, and we decide to follow the black athlete who stands up against the country as opposed to standing with our black president that we asked to get. We fought for equality. Martin Luther King fought for civil rights. We fought for this whole deal to get a black president, and then we don't follow him. But as soon as Colin Kaepernick says, I think I'm gonna sit down for the national anthem, the majority of the black community decides, hey, let's go support that. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't understand it.
A lot of people would argue, and I agree to a certain extent, not 100%. A lot of people would argue that Barack Obama has not done for black people what they thought that he would have done.
What did they want him to do?
Me personally, my opinion is that Barack Obama is the president of the United States. He is not the president of black people.
There you go. I'm with you on that.
For whatever reason, people thought that when he got in office, everything was going to be okay, and he was going to overturn all these laws, and everybody was going to get out of prison, and and he was going to do all of these things for black people. And to your other point, the reason why we look to athletes, I think that a lot of people, in our community, we are so starved for leadership.
Right.
We are so starved for leadership that it really kind of doesn't matter where it comes from.
Well, wait a minute.
If you have any kind of influence, if you have a certain amount of money, if you're on television, if you have any kind of influence, we want okay. How about you? You stand up and be our leader. We're so starved for leadership because a lot of our leaders have been taken out.
Okay, I have a question. I have a question about that, BG. That's my point. You said we are so starved for leaders. Okay? We have a black president. How much more leadership do we need? We've got a black president. And I don't. And it's not from the standpoint of he's going to do everything for black people, but it's from a standpoint of he, too, like Colin Kaepernick, didn't grow up with his father. He, too, like Colin Kaepernick, is a multiracial man. He, too, like Colin Kaepernick, and I can tell you right now, you can look at all of the media, President Barack Obama has taken more racial flack than any president, than any black man, I think, with the exception of the black men who were killed, he's taken more flack than any black man or black person in America, and he still serves his position proudly. He does not even talk about the haters. He still protects the Constitution. He still is the person who is our representative. He is still the person that says there is a different way to be disagreeable. To disagree without being disagreeable. But we as a people are still, like you just said, well, we're so starved for leaders. Open your eyes. The leaders are here.
I think when I say that, we're starved for leaders that will actually do something for us as a people. And I was talking to another guy. I was listening to another news show, and what they were saying is that we still have black people that still get killed out in the middle of the street by policemen, by whoever, right?
By black people.
It's like they think that Barack Obama is relatively quiet on those issues. Let's take the LGBT community. He has championed that community. He has gotten laws changed for that community. Okay, and he's done things for them, and he hasn't done anything for us. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
that's their argument, and like I said, I can see where they're coming from.
Okay. So a lot of times when people, because, I teach a lot of classes in leadership and conflict negotiation, conflict management and negotiation, and I think the number one thing that we are suffering from is the fact that we get pissed off about every little thing and don't get pissed off about the things we're supposed to get pissed off about. Now, when you say we have dead black men in the street, well, yeah, Dwayne Wade's cousin or family member or whoever, she was dead and she was killed by two black men. So, and it was on accident or what have you. I get that point, but my problem is, in order for us to be effective, I think that we need to actually call ourselves out on certain things before we look to everybody else to say, this is what we've got to be. In any given situation, you have responsibility, right? So at what part, and I just want to ask my brothers and sisters this, what part of the responsibility are we going to take for what we do to ourselves? I understand about the system. I understand about racism. I understand about racial inequality. I get that. But what part of this are we going to take responsibility for ourselves? We get so upset when everyone else kills us, but we do not take that same anger and ire and point it to lowering our abortion rate, lowering our black-on-black crime rate. I don't care what the white folks do to discriminate. You know what? Guess what? They've been doing that for years. In 1670, did you know, BG? In 1670, Massachusetts passed a law that said that in the slave trade, the children can be sold away from the families in 1670. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not seeing any of that happening right now. When we talk about it, I urge my black folks to go back just in the 20th century when we talk about how unfairly we're treated. I want us to actually look at the data that we have. This isn't speculation. This isn't what Big Mama told you. Look at what we have now and compare that to 100 years ago, and then you come back to me and tell me how unfairly we were treated when we were the strange fruit.
I understand that, and I just wanted to address some of that before I go, because I want to let you get back to your show. I guess the reason why people get so upset when you ask that question is because it's like you're bringing up two different issues. All right.
How is that two different issues? It's one people.
When we talk about police brutality and we talk about racism, we talk about what other people are doing to us. Mm-hmm. Now, I agree with you 100% that we need to take accountability for our own actions. But let's not change the narrative. What we're talking about right now is racism in this country and what people have done to us. Okay. So when I'm talking about, this is what's happening, this is what the system is doing, instead of answering that question, instead of addressing that issue, you say, well, what about what you do to you?
No.
We haven't even gotten to that yet.
No, right? It's not even.
Do we have to take accountability for ourselves? Absolutely. But that's a separate topic. The topic that we're talking about now, like when you were on our show and we were talking about Alvin Sterling, the topic at that point was police brutality.
Okay.
All right. So when we start talking about police brutality and we start talking about racism in this country and the actions of other people that have affected us, instead of addressing that point, what we do is switch. Oh, okay. Well, what about what you do to yourself?
Okay.
Let's address what we do to ourselves, but let's answer this question first.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, and I'm going to ask you this from Dr. Rich. Would you help me to help others expand their minds? Okay. I'm asking that. So I want us to start looking at us as a whole people. Okay? We are black wherever we are. Would you agree to that?
Yes.
Okay. So if I am looking at the sum of all and I lose 2, should my focus be on the reason the 2 are lost, or should my focus be on 2 are lost? If we were looking, remember, hold on. If we're looking at our people as a whole, we are all black. Wherever we are black. In this world, we are black. Okay? And I don't want to see any of my people killed. I don't give a damn what kills it. Okay, what kills us? Okay? That's where I want us to elevate our minds. Yes, I get that point. But if I get the whole point about this, we need to have justice on what's happening. Yes, you are correct. Whose job is that? That's our job, to get back over to these local communities and start voting out these police chiefs. We need to actually start reading the ordinances in our cities so that we know what we can do and what we can, and what the police do and what they can't. And the city ordinance is the thing that governs these cops. And if we don't like the ordinance, we can change it. That's the whole deal of the American way. The whole thing about democracy, which is the whole reason why I don't understand why Colin Kaepernick chose this song to actually protest, because of the fact that there's a pattern and a way that you have to do things in this country. And if you don't like that, then you either leave or you conform to the way this country is set up. This country set up this way. And if you don't like the laws, you have the ability to change them. I'm asking us as a people to look at it holistically. I am not saying disregard anything that any other race does to us unfairly. I'm not telling you that. I'm not saying that this causes that. I'm not saying, well, we got black on black crime, so no, I'm not saying that. Please don't put those two things together for me. What I'm saying is, you're right, BG, they're 2 different issues, but on the grander scheme of things, they're one. Because whatever it's either this issue or this issue, we are all affected. Do you agree?
I would agree.
Okay.
Sir, hey, I appreciate it. Keep on doing what you're doing. I love the show.
Hey, man, thank you for listening. And, hey, before you go, the spot on Sundays, 1 o'clock, right here, watchonairlive.com. Talk about hip-hop and what else, what other things do you have, BG? Yesterday you did some current events. That was good.
We do current events. It's a music-based show, but we highlight current events, and also, my personal, my baby is entrepreneurship.
Okay.
We love to highlight people who are out, doing their own thing, and we want to be a platform for people who are, opening up their own businesses. So, go like our Facebook page, hit us up, and, if you want to promote, you can come on the spot. We'd love to have you.
All right, BG. Thank you for calling in, my brother.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So I was, thank you, BG, for calling in. There got anybody else? No one else. Okay, so I actually have some, I have some folks out here online who are actually, Zoe Doon, he will be up next. I actually have some people, I think Ryan said Kaepernick is going about this all wrong and hurting his cause, not helping it. The national anthem and our country's flag is not the enemy. It's symbolic of all those who have served and died for the country. He would suffer backlash for his behavior. I wonder how he would feel when fans start cheering when he gets knocked on his butt during a game or being booed every time his name is mentioned. How are his teammates going to react to this distraction? He needs to rethink how best to help his cause, not hurt it. There are a lot of ways to make his point. A lot of other ways to make his point. Ryan, I agree wholeheartedly. I get that. I agree. There were a lot of different ways he can do that. Timid 99. There's a difference between respecting our military and respecting war profiteers who make money from the havoc they sow in the Middle East and other volatile places. Okay. Zoe Doon, stay tuned for his show. Calvin says the idea that everyone is obligated for some reason to stand up when the national anthem is gratuitously played at some dumb sporting event is beyond ridiculous. Calvin, it's called nationalism, guy. It's this called nationalism. Zoe Doon, yes, interesting considering there are hardly records of black ancestors 100 years ago. You are incorrect. We do have that. If you want to, go to blackpast.org and you'll see that. We have a lot of stuff out there. That's the whole reason why we have Black History Month. We have a lot of things out there. You can go to the Smithsonian. My great-grandfather is in the Smithsonian. So there's a lot of things, Zoe Doon, that's out there that has our history. Although that there's some people who decided to tell his story and decided to wipe that out, it's not gone yet. Performance. Calvin says performing ceremonial nationalist rituals is not a requirement for being an athlete or having a job unless the nation you live in is not in fact a free one. Oh, okay. So here's the deal. There seems to be some problem here. So let me, Calvin, you have an obligation as an American. I mean, I don't know if you knew this or not, but when people actually get American citizenship, they actually go to a place and they pledge allegiance to the United States. It's something that they have to do. If you don't believe me, go ask an immigrant who has recently received citizenship into the United States. Yes, I don't care if the national anthem was played at a sporting event, at your mama's cookout, at your car wash or what have you. If the national anthem plays, you as an American citizen have an obligation to pay respect to the national anthem, the country. I hate to tell you that, but yeah, that's how that works. Again, you know, it's real funny how a lot of people take advantage of the freedoms that are given or that are given here in the United States, but they have not served one day in the United States military, have not given one thing, one piece of sweat, one piece of blood, one drop of anything, but they want to tell us and Americans about, number one, how bad our country is. Number two, you can leave. If you don't like the country, you can get on a plane and go. I mean, there's nothing stopping you. You have the freedom to do that too. But what I really urge you to do is understand, number one, pick up the Constitution and read it. That's the first thing. Read the Constitution. All right? It's free. Pull it up online. You pull everything else up online. Read the Constitution and understand your rights. The Bill of Rights. Understand that. Okay? I'm tired of people who talk all this stuff about this is what we have the right to do and have not read one thing about the Constitution. Have not read the first 10 amendments called the Bill of Rights. Haven't read them. But you'll go listen to CNN or MSNBC or Fox News, and you'll come up with this. Yes, you do have an obligation as an American citizen to stand up and pay homage to the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance, the American flag, okay? And I'm sorry if you don't like that. I mean, you talk about it being free, but let's get back to Colin Kaepernick. Back when in the 40s, 50s, 60s, let's go to the 19th century. Whites paid premium dollar to see black actors, black athletes, okay? Now, at the same time, these actors and athletes could not come in the same door. They couldn't use the front door. They couldn't use the same bathroom. They couldn't use the same water fountain. They had to come in the back door. They couldn't sit on the same place on the bus. But these same people who were oppressing them and calling us monkeys and spades and all of these other disparate things paid money to see us. So let's fast forward. As a matter of fact, Dorothy Dandridge, who was at a hotel to perform, actually swam in a pool, and a white lady got pissed off about it, and the hotel drained the pool. Yeah, about that. But this same lady paid money as a ticket to go see Dorothy Dandridge. Here's the deal, people. Colin Kaepernick, believe it or not, Colin Kaepernick is paid to run up and down the football field. He is paid by billionaires to be a millionaire. He does not like the fairness of the country, but he and his play built that new stadium for the San Francisco 49ers. A lot of people, and these are the same people that raised the tickets to go see the San Francisco 49ers. The people that he's protesting for can't even afford a ticket to go see him play. They can't buy his jerseys. They can't buy his paper. They can't buy his cable to see him. They can barely buy beer to go to the sports bar to see him play on television. And he is sitting here saying, well, he doesn't like this, he doesn't like that. I get that. That's the wrong vehicle to use. You don't use the national anthem to say this. What you do is you go out. You do an outreach. You try to help people who can't help themselves. You try to take a page from, I don't know, our leader and say that we're here. We help build this country. Learn your history. Try to find out who you are, Colin. Try to find out the rich history of your people. It doesn't really matter about, this instance and that instance and this instance about racial inequality and police brutality. Yeah, there were some white people killed. There were some Hispanic people killed. There were some Asian people killed by cops too. But what you don't see is a bunch of everyone else going out saying this is wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong. They vote. They go to work. And speaking of going to work, you get paid all of this money. Isn't it your responsibility to play at the best of your ability? And you're not playing to the best of your ability right now? So now at this time, your timing, Mr. Kaepernick, your timing right now is when you decide to say, I'm taking a sit down. I'm not going to actually do anything until something changes. Well, I want to know what you want. What is it that you want changed? And I want to understand that if someone were to come to you right now with a pad and paper in their hand and say, we're going to take this law to Congress, I want to know what it is you want. What do you plan to get out of this? Please tell me. I want to know what it is. All right? You have to be doing something. You have to be looking for something. Let's see. Oh, man. We have a bunch of people. Yankee Boy, please do not call police if you need help in a robbery or crash. It appears that this player, who is probably well paid for his talent, as opposed to most who protest, does not appreciate the USA. Feel free to relocate to Cuba, Argentina, Africa, or any country in the world that allows you to live the life in which you live. All right, Yankee Boy, all right. Calvin, the implication of your goofy comment is that people everywhere should be conforming nationalists at all times or else leave for another country. Where? What? They'll be required to be a nationalist puppet there as well. Well, you made my point, Calvin. If they'll be required to be, as you say, a nationalist puppet as well, then why not be a nationalist puppet in the greatest country in the world? Work on that one. Rick says, Dr. Rich, the truth is I have no interest in the NFL and couldn't pick Colin Kaepernick out of a lineup, but I'm tired of this right-wing brand of political correctness that demands that everyone conform to a particular ideal of patriotism and labels those who don't conform, the gymnast Gabby Douglas, for instance, who was accused of being un-American because she neglected to place her hand over her heart during the anthem. Okay, I agree with you. That was stupid. And we're all Americans. We should be working to stop injustice, not whining because others are criticizing those injustices. Oh, okay. All right, Rick, I get that. I don't feel that it's right wing to say we have to have political correctness. So I think your deal is saying that we need to do what? Are you telling us that we should just say to hell with the Constitution and just live free without law? Or do we owe the United States anything? Or do we owe anyone else anything to live as how we live? I mean, I know we've made a lot of progress. I'll tell you one thing: if you look at our history, you'll see that we weren't treated that well before. But yes, we should. We're all Americans. We should be working to stop injustice, not whining because others are criticizing those injustices. Okay, so all Americans, we should be working to stop injustice. Yeah, we are stopping injustice. I'd like for you to define injustice. What injustices? We can't pick and choose which injustices we want to talk about. There's injustices everywhere. Yes, we should all be doing that. But is it? But how do we start that? Do we start that by saying we denounce the country? Do we start that by saying we're not standing up for the national anthem? Do we start by disrespecting? To let all of you know, sitting down for the national anthem is a sign of disrespect. And when he was asked about it, he said, yes, I'm doing this because I do not want to stand up for a country that does not do anything about the racial inequality and injustice in America. Johnny Bad, if the people put as much energy into fixing the joke of a justice system as worrying about what a quarterback says, which is right, as everyone in the U.S. is quick to tell me, they may be able to solve the problem. The U.S. justice system is ranked 14th in the world and dropping like a stone, and you would not believe how many people in the U.S. tell me we have the #1 justice system in the world. If you're not exposed to the world, ignorance is bliss. It's like being mad at the person that tells you to smell instead of just tells you smell instead of just taking a bath. Okay, so the good part, the funny part about that, Johnny Bad, is if our U.S. justice system is ranked 14th, then we have a means to change the U.S. justice system. It's called voting. That's how the Constitution was written, by the people, for the people. You know what I mean? So I get that. If it's the 14th, it's the 14th. That means if it's something that's wrong, we need to change it. We need to vote and change it. That's right now. That's the way we have to do it. If we want to actually do this, you can go about it one way or you can go about it the other way. I can guarantee you, going about it the way that Colin Kaepernick is going about it, that's not going to change a damn thing. That's not going to change one law. Nothing. Okay? I hate to tell you that, but that's just how it's going to be. They wonder why so Lottie says, they wonder why a black person might vote for Donald. Think about it. Kaepernick may want us to remember that poor blacks and poor whites as well don't show up at professional games, given that the price of the ticket may run upwards towards $1,000. And they wonder during this campaign season why Kaepernick feels that oppression of blacks is a real and pressing issue. Fact is, fans don't give a damn about the number of young black men whose lives are churned up and turned off as they aspire for one of the very, very few opportunities to play professional sports. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Lottie. I don't know I didn't follow the whole logic of why black people want to vote for Donald Trump. I don't know why black people want to vote for Hillary Clinton either, but I don't know why we want to vote for Donald Trump. I mean, I told you I'm gonna write my name in, and we're gonna do it that way. But as far as the lives turned up, yeah, Colin Kaepernick is a black quarterback. It's not that many. I think it's how many. I don't know how many you have in the league, but there's not that many. Thank you. Rick, the logic of this seemingly forced nationalism is rather difficult to follow in a country that's supposed to be all about freedom. The Constitution guarantees freedom of speech. This is a prime example of respect for exercising his rights. Okay, Rick, I'm not telling you that he doesn't have the freedom of speech. I'm not telling you that. Let me make myself clear. His message is clear. I hear his message. But to utilize the national anthem to hammer that message home is problematic in that the one thing or group of things that gave him the freedoms, the one thing that makes him have the ability to protest and to speak out is the country called America. Okay, he's in America, and the reason why he has those rights is because he's in America. Okay, you're saying what he's saying is, I'm mad at my mom because my sister is mean to me, so I'm gonna attack my mom. Son, he's in America, and that affords him the right to have freedom of speech. But you don't go and use the symbolism of the country that gave you that right to protest, because you see how that's problematic. You don't do that. You just don't do that. I'm sorry, I hate to tell you, but you don't do that. You don't use the national anthem as a vehicle to say, I'm going to use my right to freedom of speech to denounce the way the blacks are treated. No. Because there's so many other things that have gone into actually getting us from where we were in 1670 to where we are right now in 2016. I think people need to go back and look at the history when we talk about it. But this is one of the things of this generation. You know, you can't say anything to people anymore. You can't do anything to people. And hey, don't start. I'm not telling you that I support police brutality. I'm not telling you that I support injustice. I am telling you that there is a way to change things, and this is not the way. Ben Harry, if this country wants respect of its citizens, including honoring the militaristic national anthem, it needs to earn that respect. Okay, it needs to earn that respect. And how then would this country earn the respect? It gives us our rights. So how then can the country earn their respect? I mean, I'm with you. I mean, we all have an obligation to go to work and earn a fair wage, right? We all have an obligation to treat our citizens correct, treat our citizens right. We all have an obligation to respect our national leaders and respect our laws. That's one of the things you want to talk about. If you want the respect of the citizens, well, what do the citizens have to do? The citizens need to respect the laws. That's how that works. I wish that I had someone who was not from this country, actually who gained citizenship when they got to this country, talk to people who are actually born in this country and see the disparity, see the difference between the two. There's certain things that, that Americans just take for granted because we're in America. That's the reason why a lot of countries call us the angry Americans, the arrogant Americans, the entitled Americans, because of the fact we have so many rights and privileges, we just take it for granted. Like, that's just not the way it is. Go to Africa. Go to any country in Africa and go ask them how that works. Go to Japan, go to Asia. Go to anywhere that you think. Go to North Korea. Go to China. You think you're not treated fairly? Run over to China. Run over to North Korea. Run over to any country in Africa. And you'll see that, oh, man, you know what? America's not that bad. No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, and it's what we've got going right now. So, people, look, we talked today we got a lot in. I didn't get anybody else calling in today. Next week will be Labor Day, and I will not be on the air on Labor Day because the day after that is my birthday. I want you guys to continue to look at the issues of the world. I mean, I think that there's a different way. I know there's a different way. Just take a page from President Obama. If he sat there and responded to everything that someone else did to him because of his race, man, we wouldn't have a country, man. He'd be too busy doing other things. There is a way to protest. There is a way to do this. There's a way to change laws. But the first thing you need to change is your thinking. Change your thinking, change your life. I'm not telling you to excuse police brutality. I'm not telling you to excuse racial inequality. I am telling you to take responsibility for yourself and for your fellow man. If you want, as black people, if we want our race to do better, then we need to do better to our race. So we need to figure this out from a standpoint of understanding who we are and who we even try to follow. We have a black president and we have a black quarterback. Everybody decided to follow the black quarterback when he said he was going to take a stand against the national anthem. the same national anthem that symbolizes the country. And some of you still go to work for the same people you worked for before, and you still see the racial inequality there, but you don't want to let go of that dollar. You don't want to leave your boss because your boss is so good to you to pay you so that you can take care of yourself. So I don't want to hear this stuff about, oh, I'm going to do this, and this is the reason why I'm doing it. And no, you're not. You're doing it because you need to live, and you're doing it because you don't have the wherewithal to go out and do anything else. If you did, you would do it. So all of the people who complain about, well, no, you're not. You're still working for the same individuals you were working for before. If your name's not on the marquee, then you're doing the same thing. So why don't you do this? Stop trying to change everybody else and change yourself. We need to change ourselves. Let that stuff worry about that stuff over there. If we change the way that we do business with one another, if we change the way we spend our money, if we change the way we educate our children, if we took a stand in the way that we vote, we take a stand in the way that we elect our city leaders, we take a stand in ensuring that we understand the city ordinances by which we live, we will be better to ourselves and therefore make everything better for everyone. People, I am. You can reach me at DocRich1 on Twitter. You can reach me You can email me doc@prestonrich.com. You can get me on www.drprestonrich.com. And you can get me on Facebook at facebook.com/Professor Preston Rich. Hey people, this is all conversation, but this is conversation that we need to have. This is the one good thing that the kid come out of Colin Kaepernick taking his sit down, because it's not a stand, taking his sit down was the fact that we started talking about it. There's so many other things that he could have done. Taking a sit down, I don't think it's courage. I think it's cowardice. So if he didn't do anything before, Twitter and Facebook and all the other stuff that he was doing, why did he wait until the time when he was about to be named as backup quarterback that he decided to take a stand? So I just think this is something that is going to be a passing thing. And if I'm wrong, I'll come back on here and say I was wrong, and I'll own up to it. That's one of the things that a lot of us don't do. So, hey, people, I'll be back on September the 12th. I will not be here for Labor Day. I will not be here next week. I will be here on September the 12th, right here, live and in living color. I will be here at the Power Lunch with Dr. Rich, Food for the Mind. I hope I gave you some food for the mind in order for you to go ahead and digest it. And people, you need to understand, you need to get a center. God loves you. Dr. Rich loves you. I'm out of here. Peace.
Stand up for your right. Get up.